Welcome back to California Life Podcast, and we are criticizing films. It's our new genre of our programming, and today we have Brother Clark Tang, who I would like to introduce him a little bit. I just shared with you, Colleen, about
Yes.
Brother Clark's background. Brother Clark is not only an expert, an authentic expert in authentic Chinese martial arts, but he holds a direct lineage from Master Yipman. Brother Clark will share about his teacher much better than I will do, but what I would say that Brother Clark's teacher is known as the most handsome student of Yipman. Brother Clark,
Beside
thank
Bruce
you.
Lee.
I was gonna say, but that should be obvious, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Brother Clark, first of all, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
We've discussed with Colleen some about the sequel, Yip Man, which was um, on screens a few for what more than a decade now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
No.
Colleen, you mentioned to me behind the scenes that you found the story somehow fascinating, and I
I
would like you
did.
to let's hear from you. Why
Okay.
did you feel it fascinating?
So
Okay.
I just want to give the viewers and everybody listening a little background. I am not versed in the martial arts or martial arts movies or any of the characters involved. So I did a little research and I looked into specifically the Ip Man series and found there were four movies made over a course of 11 years from 2000 to 2019, and that the story revolves around well, let's just say this, like I know from my perspective, as a person, just an average movie watcher in the United States, that most everybody knows who Bruce Lee is and the Bruce Lee movies and his persona and what he did, but didn't really know his lineage and who his teachers were and the masters that he followed. And so when I started looking this up and reading about Ip Man, understanding that Bruce Lee studied with him and his style of kung fu, and then how the movies kind of chronicle that moving forward, but from Ip Man's the grand teacher, the grandmaster, from his perspective and what he went through. So I just found it really interesting to get that historical perspective and background of something that I would never have known had I not done the research. So I'm excited to hear your point of view and what you have to share on it. And there we go.
Oh well, yeah, definitely. Well, first of all, there's a movie and there's the real world. So
Right.
and
As
um,
always.
and when there's so much things that you hear about Bruce Lee when you really go to Hong Kong and you sit down with all his classmates, somebody that really know him, you learn another aspect of him as well. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But all's good. I mean, Bruce Lee, he was a very phenomenon. He's good at, I would say that brought Wing Chun to the light.
Yeah.
So this is what they said. Bruce Lee. So in other words, Bruce Lee was helping Wing Chun to be to be popular, and also Wing Chun was helping Bruce Lee. So they're helping one another. Um, uh, if I may, like Bruce Lee, he had other martial art before he even studied Wing Chun,
Okay.
and then when he studied Wing Chun, now Wing Chun again, it's a very very profound, and gosh, I can tell you another lifetime is not. It's not gonna grasp it. Wing Chun is so deep, and
Okay.
brother Victor know that. That
Yeah.
we always talk about Wing Chun and it never ends. So
Yeah.
um, again, now what I can do is to use a metaphor like this. For example,
Okay.
like an everybody know that's a formula, MC square equals whatever. That's a formula, right?
Mhm.
Once you start plug it in, the variable always changes. Or mathematically speaking, like algebra, you put a plus b. equals C. And, the formula doesn't change, but the variable, it's depend.
Right.
Now, Wing Chun is that. It's like a formula. Now, when how much people put in, how much people understanding, and that's how it comes out.
Sure.
Like Bruce Lee, he had so much, like so much stuff to bring on the table. Because he was looking for something, and he
Hmm.
found it, and that's why he's sort of like, wow, everything was exciting to him. Everything was, like an inch punch. Everybody know that in Wing Chun, that is only like it's um, explosive power, like the close, like you hit something, you hold it, you hold it, you hold it, you hold it, and that moment impact, you boom.
Yeah.
But again, Bruce Lee, he have his own way of putting, and I just now that's why I told my teacher, I told he's. Have you seen show the picture of my teacher, your brother, to Colleen? I don't know.
We haven't yet, but we
No.
will
Oh,
definitely
okay.
add it. We'll add the pictures in the episode. Yes.
I told him, I said, Bruce Lee was again. I met my teacher. I went there, and his Wing Chun a phenomenon, and I just compare. And when you know how Wing Chun much, how Bruce Lee know Wing Chun, but he
Hmm.
know Wing Chun enough to do what he has to do.
Right.
In other words, he didn't even complete a system, but you know what? Come on, Bruce Lee. I mean, he can make everything work. That's why I said. So my teacher is very quiet, a man of few words, and I told him, I
Okay.
said, look, Bruce Lee, he's good at fighting. You're good at not talking. Okay. And and if I may tell a little joke there, like I think when I first went to Hong Kong, because you grew up with influenced Bruce Lee's and all these story, and again, my teacher, he studied Wing Chun before Bruce Lee about 6 months or so, and then and he saw Bruce Lee, he just say, okay, another guy,
Hmm.
and then and I always ask him about Bruce Lee, like, oh, how did Bruce Lee this? He said, yeah, yeah, yeah. And after a while, he looked at me and said, why are you asking so much about Bruce Lee? I mean, if he's so good, why he die? And I'm still here. So Long means little dragon, right?
Yeah.
And then he point himself like, I am Tai Long. In Cantonese mean I'm the big dragon. He's a little dragon only. And you know what? Everybody in the room was crack up. And I go, you hear that, everybody? Never talk about Bruce Lee again. Everybody cracked up. But everyone loved and respected Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee was a real deal. I mean, a lot of Hong Kong actor and all that, they can say a lot of things they know, and they mostly film fighting. You know why? But Bruce Lee, yes, he's a real deal. He practice, practice, practice.
Can you speak to, I don't, excuse me for interrupting you, but what I would love to, because Bruce Lee is the name that I think most people know and relate to, but
Hmm.
in these movies, in the Ip Man movies, it was Donnie Lee. Is that the
Uh,
actor's name? Who
Donnie Yen, he's an
Yen,
Donnie
actor.
Yen, yeah.
sorry, Donnie
Yeah,
Yen. Donnie, I remembered. I just couldn't remember his last name.
yes,
So
yes.
Donnie Yen. So why has he not become the phenomenon? At least in America, maybe he is in China, but like his name and who he played and his role in the Hitman movies.
You mean Donnie Yen then?
Yeah.
Why he's not? I mean, well, brother Victor, you know how I feel about Donnie Yen. I mean, he's he's an actor. I mean, I met him. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
now
So
Bruce Lee. Now Bruce Lee's he was a very, very unique and special that you don't see that. I mean, one in
okay.
millennium, something like that. Now, according to also my daughter, before brother Victor become his godfather,
Uh-huh.
uh, Grandmaster Bob Wall. I think you know who he is, right, Colleen? Bob
Who?
Wall. Bob
Bob
Wall.
Wall?
Yeah, Bob Wall who play you watch Enter the Dragon, the guy with his face.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay,
I
so
have seen that. Yeah.
yeah, so that was my daughter's godfather when he died, so brother Victor took over. Now this is what he said
Too.
about Bruce Lee. He said, Bruce Lee, I don't care. This is what people know about Bruce Lee. He said, okay, forget about handsome. Take away Bruce Lee's not handsome. Okay, okay, take about his martial art. Bruce is not a good martial art. He's just a human being. He said people still love Bruce Lee. It doesn't matter. It just his it's part of his character, it's part of his energy. It just if you look at it, anyone that is among those during that time, they're all doing something phenomenal, like Jackie Chan, right?
Yeah,
From
yeah,
Yung Hong. Or Chuck Norris.
yeah,
Chuck Norris was nobody, and then when Bruce Lee started him and something, I read his book, and his book he gave credit to Bruce Lee. He said he just called me out of the blue, like, oh, okay, you want to do this, and then so that give him like sort of like igniting that open that spark to becoming the best martial art and great actor. Look at Chuck Norris and still live today. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, he's still working today.
Yes,
I would call that charisma, like what Bruce
yes,
Lee has. Like that
yes,
special element, that it factor to me is charisma when you just draw
yeah.
people in.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, I mean, you don't find that many. I mean, you know what I mean. I just
Mm. No, it's special.
it. That's why like I feel like every day, like if I can get a little, you know what I mean. What is the secret? What that is the search on me. Like, if I'm gone, at least my daughter talk good about me. I'm glad, or maybe one or two. That is just my endless search. How did Bruce Lee did it? We just don't know. And
Yeah.
great, he's a great martial art, but that martial art is just go beyond that. You know what I mean? It's just that, and that's why he's Bruce Lee and anybody like Donnie Yen. If you, I, if I may, I don't
Yes.
disrespect him.
Oh, yes, please. And
Oh,
disrespect is welcome as
no,
well.
he's a guy. I mean, you know what I mean. I've seen him and all that, but I'm not. I mean,
So are you saying he's an actor who does the
yeah,
martial
but
arts
he
as
doesn't know
opposed to
Wing Chun.
martial
He
arts
does.
first?
He to me, I feel like he is. How do I put this? He's a privileged kid, Donnie Yen. That's why you know this is what my pastor said, and I think that's what probably described well with Bruce Lee. Like the best diamond, it went through a lot of uh, for
Pressure. Yeah.
Yeah.
what's the word? Crystallization or
Yeah.
forged many time, or
It's pressure
he,
over time.
yes, pressure over time. And you know how Bruce Lee he grew up. He went through a lot. I mean, look at his life. Everything and Donnie Yen, everything just like get handed to him. Like hell, here we go. I mean, so
So you're talking more about his character than necessarily his martial arts or
his
his.
martial art is it's not that good to me. I mean,
Okay.
you know what I mean. It to me. I mean,
No, you're the
again
expert on
my
that. You're
opinion.
the one who
My
thinks of
opinion.
that.
And he did not learn Wing Chun before then.
Oh, interesting.
He's a
Okay.
wushu, right, brother?
Yeah.
Victor. He's a wushu. Another way he's flipping, and he learned it in Boston with his mom after his parent went away. And again, I mean, I like to watch some of his movies. You know what I mean? But it just like I don't know how to describe it. To me, I like Jet Li a little bit better. You know what I mean? I mean, personally,
Sure. I mean, everybody
Jet
has
Li.
your opinion, what we like and what we don't like. That's
Yeah,
subjective.
so that's my opinion on Donnie Yen. But again, Donnie Yen, he portrayed that movie is really good. I mean, he went and studied Wing Chun with Grandmaster Yipman, supposedly son,
Okay.
for the movies, and he did. I think he did well. I mean, put, put compare acting, all that. That I mean, on that aspect.
So on the subject of just the movies and the story that's told in the movies and over time. Do you think
Yeah.
they did a good job with the consistency and keeping the characters consistent and the story relevant over time?
I think, if I may, I mean, probably more than 70% is a movie. Reality is not that.
Okay. Well,
But
I mean,
yes,
literary license, it is a movie, right? But
yes.
so what do you think?
So unless you have Pacific thing, and then I can refer to, and then
Okay.
I, from what I hear from my teacher as well, like in term of Grandmaster Yipman real life story, you know, so and let's see,
Do you think it's that the movies have a positive impact on
oh
martial
yeah,
arts and on this particular style of kung fu?
oh definitely, there's no doubt about that, no doubt about that. Yes, that's why I said Donnie Yen, he did a great job, I would say. You know, if you have not watched it, there's another movie which is, to me, even a little bit better than Ip
Okay.
Man. It's called The Grandmaster by Tony Leung. Tony Leung
Mhm.
is a great actor. Have you seen that, brother?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, with brother Kong Lee's in there. Brother
We've
Kong
watched it.
Lee.
We've watched it together. Yeah.
Yes. Now, if you have a chance, Colleen, see that. That is just amazing.
Okay.
I
Say
mean,
it again.
good
What's the name of
acting.
it?
The Grandmaster
The Grandmaster. Okay.
by Tony Leung. I think it's on Netflix and all that.
Oh,
I watched that movie. I felt it. So this movie, it's based on a period before he went to Hong Kong.
okay.
So in other words, his life was a little bit on a dark side.
Mhm.
Uh, he went through the war. His daughter died. He came over and you know um, just try to survive. That's it.
Okay.
And again, now Wing Chun, without Grandmaster Yipman, now that's why we gave credit to Grandmaster Yipman. This is not a movie. This is reality.
Okay.
Without Grandmaster Yipman bring to the public, start showing, we wouldn't. I don't think we wouldn't know Wing Chun was,
Yeah.
because according to my teacher and most of Grandmaster Yipman said, Wing Chun is almost like it's a closed door art.
Mhm.
You invite, you learn, you never talk about it. When you see each other, you just have a good time. You don't know, or you're
So
like
it's like
that.
being in the Masonic Temple,
Yeah, almost like that. Yeah,
right?
I
The
would say that.
Brotherhood of the Masonic Temple. It's like we don't talk about the secrets we know. We just keep it hush
Exactly.
hush.
Yeah. And and again, and they say, what is the secret? The secret is if somebody point you to do the same thing, you do it over and over, you discover that secret. And
Hmm.
so Grandmaster Yipman, according to portray that he came in and all that. Uh, so I'm going to talk about a little bit, like probably like the movie and then the reality, according from my
Okay.
again, my
Okay.
my teacher. Grandmaster Yipman, he came over to Hong Kong because he had to escape because, of course, the Japanese took over, everything was gone, right?
Mhm.
He was, you can say, like homeless.
Mm.
He stayed in the temple and stay in the temple, so people gather, like sleep it, they sleep everybody have a little slot and sleep and do whatever.
Mhm.
So during that time, and one of his student is Long Ting. It wrote on his book as well. So they're the people among those people that live with him. So there's an argument between husband and wife, right? So the husband was fine, and then whatever. So the husband was, what happened? He was really mad at his wife. He took sort of like a chair, right?
Mhm.
Want to really hit his wife. And perfect timing, just push a little bit. He went off, and he did it again. He did it again, and the guy who witnessed it, what is that? And then he was like, "Wow, is that kung fu? How did he do that?"
Mm.
And then he started going and talk to him after that, and then all of a sudden he start show them talk about kung fu, Wing Chun and all that, and that's how it become a little bit at a time.
I see.
And also, Grandmaster Yipman back then, he didn't have anything at all.
Mm.
I mean, just barely to survive. Like next meal, next meal.
Yeah.
So he did this out of necessity, not because of, you know. Again, and which I understand. Like it's very hard to, that certain thing that you cannot show it. Just like you got to have it. And Wing Chun is one of those art. You can do a lot of things, but if you have not unlocked one little thing that code the knot, like all the dot together,
Yeah.
you can always practice it just a movement. It just there's nothing there. You know what I mean?
I
So
see.
that's a reality of compared to movies. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Well, if we go back to the sequel,
Yes.
done by performed by Don Yen, as you know, I'm not a fan as well,
Oh,
and
hey, that's why
the
we hang out together.
and you know that this background that you mentioned, the privileged kid background and everything handled to, I think it does feel on the big screen probably even more than in life. And
I feel that. Yeah.
Interesting.
another thing which you mentioned, for example, Chuck Norris or Jackie Chan, these two great personalities, great actors. We don't talk about personality in life, right? Because it's controversial. They were brought by Bruce Lee on the screen, and
Hmm.
Bruce Lee went through a lot of pressure to become who he was. He needed to do a lot of PR, a lot of talking. no
Yes.
one no one else would have done it for him, so it's nothing to blame. I think it's he's genius in PR. He's genius for what he's done for. And
Yes.
he brought to us Bruce Lee, he brought to us Jackie Chan and Chuck Norris.
Mm.
Wow.
With Jackie Chan, then Sammo Hung, Yuan Biao showed up,
Mm.
and they are really good on the screen.
Yeah.
Then Jet Li showed up. Jet Li again came from a poor background, a lot of
Mm.
competition. You couldn't
Mhm.
tell that, you couldn't say that he has a privilege. He was
Yeah.
competing, he was busting his
Yes.
butt, and he was noticed.
Yes.
Now I feel completely different energy on the screen from these folks versus
Mm.
Donnie Yen, who is trying to be. And remember, in our most recent conversation with one of the um, well-known martial artists, we had a 8-hour FA
Mm.
session. He
Mhm.
mentioned that they're competing on saying who is a bigger star, Donnie
Yeah.
Yen
Mm.
versus other folks. So
Yes.
to me, I don't know. Obviously, each person feels it differently, but to me, I feel it on the screen when
Mm.
it's someone real versus someone trying
Right.
to
Right. Right.
become. Now, with all that said, my question to you, as you are Wing Chun master, and when we see Jet Li or we see other martial artists on the screen, like Van Damme, for example, right? They are performing something of a, let's say, style that they are good with. I can't like I see Donnie Yen and I see the Wushu guy, the Chang Quan guy, with some
Mm.
flares, with some fancy kicks.
Mm.
I don't see a Wing Chun type. When I look at
Yeah.
you, for example, it's a
Mm.
Wing Chun type. You when you drive, you do Wing Chun movements. When we talk, I couldn't see you
I
as a,
didn't know that. It's
yeah.
just.
If we film
um.
something, I cannot see you as a karate guy. I cannot see you as it's a Wing Chun. It's just
Yeah.
like that. You as a
Um.
Wing Chun master, do you see Donnie Yen without disliking him? Like whatever, that's aside.
No, I mean he's probably not. I don't want to respect, but to me, just like he got a long way. And this is the thing is humility. And I think without understand that going through that, it's very hard to grasp the
Hmm.
Mm.
you know humility and compassion. Once like how do I explain that? Like for example, like For example, now I'm not only doing Wing Chun before when I really take Wing Chun. I studied martial art most of my life when I was 6, 7. Kickboxing, Taekwondo, American Kenpo, Ed Parker system, um, Lama Kenpo karate. I took on all that, and all of a sudden I do Wing Chun. There is no way. One of my Kenpo brother, he opened a dojo. He made a lot of money, and I'm doing Wing Chun, a little side here.
Mm,
And he said, "Oh man, that's not making money, man. You want to do the other side?" I don't know. I can do it.
yeah.
I said, "You can go back. All I compare that to is just like this. I don't know. You're a Christian. Like all of a sudden, you go to church and you talk about God, talk about saving, how God saved you, how God da 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 da. You can. I've been to church for a long, long, long time, and one day when you got saved, you feel that the Spirit anointed on you, and that's you cannot go back. It's just like you don't have a question. Is there? It's just you feel that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
how could you go back to become like like other religion or whatever? No, it's Christ. You know what I mean? That's how I can explain that feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two words come to mind for me, and that
Yes.
is enlightenment, like the
Yes.
epiphany, like you have an epiphany.
Yes.
And it's kind of like once you know, you cannot unknow something. Once you know it, you know
Exactly.
it. You cannot unknow it.
Well.
And then ascension. It's our souls ascend. We are always growing. We are always
Yes.
everything we go through in this life, I believe, is meant to grow our souls. And
Yeah.
so, as
Yes.
the experiences that we have in life, that
Right.
the challenging ones, we're talking about all the pressure that it takes to become a diamond, right?
Hmm.
That it does. Like we need that in order to grow.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
so I get what you're saying, and I've had those experiences, and I feel it too. I know what you mean.
Are
It's a
you a parent, Colleen? If
I
I
have a
may.
parent. I have a son.
Okay. You know, brother Victor. So you can be now. I got my daughter, brother Victor. Know that. Before people can talk to me yappy yappy. Oh, you're gonna be dad. Da 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 da. I just like, and I pretend. Yeah, I know it's good. Yeah, good dad. Da, da. You know what? Honestly, I have no the heck. I don't get it. I didn't get it
No, I think I know what
until
you're
I
saying.
am to become a parent, and then I go, oh my god, I understand,
Yeah,
and I can see the circle of life, like
yeah,
like you get life, and now you give life. It's
yeah.
just like, oh man, voila,
It's a beautiful
and you can
thing.
see that. Imagine now, I'm a Christian as well, brother. Brother Victor, know that we go. And I'm not a religious. I'm more like spiritual, and I'm not religious, but I'm follow Christ, And like for example, imagine you always said, "Oh, yeah, God love us, God love us, God love us." Yeah, I get it. Hey, God loves me. You die for my sin. I get it. Okay, so what? Now you become a parent, a father. You become
Mhm,
the mom, super mom.
mhm.
You understand imagine how much you're willing to do for your kid. Imagine what your heavenly father
Right.
have done. You know what I mean? That is phenomenal. That you
It
just
does open your eyes.
you
It does.
can. How do you explain that in word for other people to understand? You can't. They have to go through the process. You know what I mean? Sorry, brother, Victor. You have to go through the process. I don't care. Right,
No,
Colleen? Yeah.
it's all
There's
connected.
nothing like it. It is helpful to understand. And I remember having this conversation with my mother after I had my son. He was still an infant, maybe under a year. He was still very young, and I remember going to my mom and just saying, "Oh my God, I am so sorry. I had no idea what you
Yeah.
did for me. I had
Yeah.
no clue about the sacrifices and everything that
Mm,
you went through raising me.
mm,
I get it now." And my
mm-hmm.
gratitude for my mother went up 100%. So until you experience something, it's learning. Like the only true learning, I believe, like we can learn in books, we can read, we can take knowledge
Hmm.
in, but
Hmm.
experiential learning is the greatest. And we need to experience things, I think,
I agree. I
for it to really
totally agree.
soak into your bones.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that is the reality. You know what I mean? Like you
Well, I'm really happy that beginning with film critics, we're opening up really important topics to our audience and things to think about. We have probably 2 more minutes in our recording session. And
okay.
Brother Clark, which, let's say, three major um, elements in the sequel performed by Donnie Yen you would say you would change if you were directing it to make the sequel, the story better?
Gosh, I never thought about that, but I feel let's see. The first movie that he did, that's very good. Second, third, fourth, I mean, it was okay. You know what I mean? It
Hmm.
was movie,
Yeah.
and I think I would say out of all that, probably portrayed more instead of just the movie portray more into the art. We'll talk about humility. Humility. Now, why Wing Chun is so powerful than the other one? Okay, I'll give you. This is a philosophy of Wing Chun. I'm gonna not take any time. Philosophy of Wing Chun is that you don't fight. You only fight when until your last resort. And when you stop fighting, it just like a lion trying to protect her cub. That is the philosophy of Wing Chun. Wing Chun is just and Wing Chun again, Colleen. I don't know. It was created by a woman. You know that.
No, I didn't.
Oh, brother Victor, the only martial art that created by a woman. Can you believe that?
All right.
Yes. When
Well,
they're
now
fighting,
now it makes sense that you said protecting your lion cubs, because there's
yes,
nothing more fierce than a mother protecting her children and her young.
correct.
I know that.
And there's no ego in Wing Chun, period. No ego. That means very humble, but boy, very powerful. It almost like a water. You ever see the water crash?
Hmm.
Bam, like that. And then soft as a feather, hard
So
as
you
a
felt
rock.
that was missing, that element of really getting into the what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, from my point of view, that's more, but I guess only a couple minutes.
Well, we'll definitely.
Brother Victor, know if you, two subject that stay me, by 8 or 9, I'm just fall asleep. By if you talk about God, talk about Wing Chun, Kung Fu, I stay up all night long. So
Well,
much stuff.
Brother Clark, will definitely have you on more to bring more information. It's always better to record 10 episodes, which the audience will consume and learn instead of one large. So we'll make sure to have you again. But for today, thank you very much, Colleen. Thank you
Well, my
for joining,
pleasure. And it was so
and
lovely to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
thank you. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll tune in soon.